And the WWE is now working with
I
them.
did.
Yes. I think you knew that, right?
I did. No. Oh, he's SmackDown.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I thought he was an agent. That's why.
I don't know, 7 months ago, I guess he had that falling out with Corgan.
Yeah.
Where did you stand on that whole thing, right? Aldis helped build the NWA. Corrigan also helped build the NWA back to prestige. Did you feel both had valued points in that termination of that
I
relationship?
think everybody has an opinion and validation within their opinion because it's the way they're thinking and feeling within the moment. I'm not lying to you, and I'm not trying to duck the question.
No, I'm not. No.
But when that was going on, I'm like, I'm not even going to look at this because I don't want to cloud my judgment or my work or what I'm doing. I'm very, very, very loyal to WPC. So, not saying that Nick didn't have points, I just don't know what they were. But also, what I think for anybody involved in anything like that, there's a time and there's a place to have that conversation, and I don't think it's via X, right? But then if you're being talked about and degraded online or told one thing, then that's what people think immediately because, oh, that's the truth. Well, here's my truth, and there's two versions of two opposing truths, and yeah, I have really didn't know what it was as much, but I think William's happy and I think Nick's happy, so I guess it worked out.
Where did you learn that skill to disassociate or not get involved in the gossip? I'm assuming the wrestling world is much harder to escape you all talking about each other, right?
Man, sometimes it's like high school. Honestly, reading Stoicism and philosophy, that's how I got away from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's great.
But like, at the end of the day, the bad run in the WWE, and then, everybody's like, I got buried, or I didn't get pushed, or they underutilize is a term I fucking hate, but people say it a lot. If I look at it, like, my run was not good, but who do I have to blame? I can blame a lot of things. There's a lot of aspects that led to it. But at the end of the day, the one person you can only blame is yourself. And how was that my fault is that I didn't fight for myself. I allowed it to happen. So I'd have a much clearer conscience if, whether I get fired or not, that I fought for myself. Instead, you play the good soldier, and I say in the book, if you play the good soldier, you're the first to get shot. So remember that. But everybody, yeah.
Plus, I think you were there when COVID hit, and that was a difficult time for
I was
everybody,
coming off
right?
an injury, concussion, right? And then so when I finally got cleared, COVID came, and then we were gone.
I think sometimes things just don't happen at the right time, and
I got something else from the book. There's 4 times and places in wrestling. There's a wrong place at the wrong time. There's the right place at the wrong time. There's the wrong place at the right time. But the only time that's going to get you where you need to go is the right place at the right time.
well done.
Thank you.
I'm ready to buy that book already, man.
I'll send you some.
All right, tough question coming up, right? You've worked for some of the best, right? You've worked for McMahon, and I know you're not a huge fan of him, but I'm just, you got to...
I have a great amount of respect for him, but if I disappeared tomorrow and someone said I disappeared, he would go, who? Or he wouldn't care. So,
I get it.
Yeah.
Triple H,
Yeah.
Dixie Carter, Russo,
Yeah.
Bischoff. We'll put Tony Khan aside. You didn't work for him, but obviously, with McMahon being the leader, now you have Billy Corgan, right? So we go back to you being this old school mentality wrestler also. Here's Billy Corgan, very famous rock star, great musician. What the fuck does he know about wrestling?
Right. You think that, too. What attracts me to him and our personalities is the outside-the-box creativity. And I think what's important about leadership, and I think he demonstrates this, is that, he delegates the duties to the people that are exceptional at it. So while he's creatively involved and it's his show and what he says goes, and he's, got the pencil and the book, at the same time, like the match with Tyrus, that story was ours. We had to finish. How do we want to tell the story? And there wasn't really any sort of I need this to happen and this to happen. So he's very unintrusive when he trusts you to get the job done. So I can vouch for that. So I think I love the perspective of people that love wrestling, don't quite know it as far as being surrounded, corrupted, influenced solely by it. I love the perspective of somebody who's done something incredible and has gone out there and brings that insight and knowledge to what we do. Like, I've had a good conversation with him about what's the difference between making your set list and a match card, and how does this flow? Like, how you're putting a set list together, how does it flow to a wrestling card? Do you ever look at things like that? So I enjoy the art of conversation like we're having here. So I don't ranking people. I think I'm very proud to be working for him and then in theory partnered with him.
So this leads back. I was talking about Tony Khan. So you don't really hear about issues with Corgan being run over by the boys. On the other hand, I know you hear about it. I'm not saying you're digging into the dirt sheets, but you know CM Punk had his problems with Khan. A couple other guys had problems with Khan and kind of made him look like shit, right?
Yeah.
How come that doesn't happen to Corgan?
I think, well, I mean, with the Aldous thing, I think you can say that kind of happened. And I think it's not as high profile, maybe, because the internet does love to report on the negativity, and especially if it's the internet's, brainchild, which is AEW, they want to talk about it and it alone. William is fiercely, respects loyalty, too. So I think within that, he would never... A talent would see that for the most part. Did that answer it, I guess? I'm
No,
trying to think too.
It does.
Yeah, with Tony, too. I mean, I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not part of the situation. You hear what you hear.
I mean, you're just giving your opinion, but I'm going to ask you this. Do you think there's a difference because Corgan is this well-known, very respected musician, and Tony Khan is a millionaire with daddy's money? I'm just saying, is that the reason, do you think?
I think William delegates, well, and I don't know this for sure because I've not worked for him, Tony influences more what he thinks he wants to see, or what he thinks the fans want to see. And here's one other thing I wrote in the book, and maybe this parlays to it because I think Billy gets it, is creativity is not giving people what they want. Creativity is giving people what they don't know they need. So sometimes playing to thinking you want to give the people what they want. Hey, we're going to have this match and it's going to be 20 minutes. It's going to be great. Cool. That will be a good, no shit, that's going to be a good match. But how did we get to this match as opposed to it's just there? Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's old school, man, what I grew up on, right? It's like,
It's missing.
use the mic, use the story to get me to want to watch the match, right? Get me there.
Dude, the chase, delayed gratification
Yes.
is something that we don't have enough of. Or we don't want because it's so much dopamine. It's so easy to get hit. My phone's going off right now. Like if I look at it and look at a comment, I'm getting a dopamine hit. It's like bang, 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 bang. Where when you have to wait for something and earn it, and there's ebbs and flows to how it comes, and maybe you don't get it, but maybe you do. Then you get it, and then you get the payoff.
Right.
It's like having sex.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant.
Yeah. There's a lot of those old-timer parlays into the art of intercourse were not in the book, but maybe I'll keep one in.
So you're the NWA champion who is now bringing